Welcome to the Book of Enoch, where we're going through the Book of Enoch, verse by verse, because the Book of Enoch is the best example we have of what it'll be like in the days of Noah, just like Jesus said the end times will be. And it's incredibly important to read it. Jude not only quotes Enoch, but refers to him as the prophet and says, according to the prophet Enoch, and quotes this book. Jesus references Enoch. So I think it's important to understand. I think it's important to grasp a hold of, because when we see what's taking place on the earth in the end times, we really need to know what's taking place in the spiritual realm and the spiritual battle as well. And Enoch sees all that stuff. So where we are is we spent 2 episodes in chapter 21. And before chapter 21, we saw 7 mountains, and these were 7 principalities of wickedness, Satan being that center mountain. And those are the 7 heads of the beast in Revelation. Those are the 7 princes of wickedness here on the earth, as well as 1/3 of the angels who fell, but they have authority over them, and they have been put on this earth. And then we're introduced to 7 holy angels. And then Enoch is taken to another place, and we see the bottomless pit that's referenced in Revelation, and then we see hell. And what we are seeing this for is so we can get an understanding of where do these things go? Like, where do they actually go? Because we have the earth and we have heaven, and Satan, as well as the other 6 principalities of wickedness, and 1/3 of the angels were cast to the earth because there was no place for them. Now we're seeing that place. And we know in Revelation, when Jesus returns, he casts them in there for 1,000 years, then they're released, and then he casts them in there for eternity. But what about the humans? What about the spirits of man? Like going all the way back to Abel and Cain. What about those things? Where are they? And that's where we're going to see next. So we're going to pick it up. So I'm going to go all the way back to the start of 21, where we're going to see the bottomless pit, then we're going to see hell, and then we're going to see this mountain. And this has everything to do with where we go. Chapter 21, starting verse 1. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. This is the bottomless pit. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it like great mountains and burning with fire. Then I said, for what sin are they bound, and on what account have they been cast in hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and Uriel is the holy angel over Tartarus, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandments of the Lord, and are bound here till 10,000 years. The time entailed by their sins are consummated. And from thence I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a horrible thing, a great fire there, which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire, and this is hell. Neither its extent nor magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is this place, and how terrible to look upon. And Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. And that's where we left off, chapter 22. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain of hard rock. And there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. And Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me. And Raphael was the holy angels who was over the spirits of men, as you recall. So let's keep going. So Uriel talked to him first. Now it's Raphael talking to him. And you could see that in Enoch 20, verse 3. We'll just read it. And these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Uriel, one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. So here Raphael is talking to him. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein. Yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, until their appointed period, till the period appointed, till the great judgment comes upon them. I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and their voices went forth to heaven and made suit. Then I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and said unto him, the Spirit, who is it whose voice goes forth and maketh suit? And he answered me, saying, the Spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew, and he makes his suit against him till the seed is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from amongst the seed of men. All right, let's pause there. There is a lot going on here, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about this. But something I brought up, I think 2 episodes ago, is you have to understand that when we're on earth, we live in a timeline. God does not live in a timeline. He is outside of time. He is experiencing the beginning, the middle, and the end all at the same time. So I don't want to insinuate that there's this place that when you die, you go this hole in a mountain, and all of a sudden you just hang out there until you've been avenged. And there's a deeper meaning to this, and that's what you got to get to. Because what's taking place here is we are going to see this mountain is God. This mountain is God. This mountain is, you are being really, this is Abraham's bosom is what this is. This is the place of rest. And we have had a lot of studies on this. But the place of rest upon death is like the blink of an eye. If I was to die in this exact moment, I would wake up to Judgment Day. And we know that to be so. And we can see that in Revelation 20. Now, something I want you to understand about 20 is we've seen all these places in the same order Enoch has seen them. So they're in full. First, Satan is bound in the bottomless pit. And then Jesus reigns for 1,000 years. Then he's released. Then he's cast into hell. And then we see this happen in verse 11. Then I saw a great white throne and him who sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away. And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to their works by the things which were written in the books. The sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Hades delivered up the dead who were in them. And this is that place. This is that place. And they were judged, each one according to his work. Then death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, and anyone not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So there's this second death, that you have to fully grasp. So in the moment of death, and we can, even reference again Abraham's bosom, we die. And our souls cry out for justice, because if we die in tribulation, for example, we can see in Revelation 6, starting verse 9, at the 5th seal, when he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? The exact same thing that Cain and Abel were talking about. So, we have this place where really it's just kind of a holding place where justice takes place. But don't think that for some reason, if you died 4,000 years ago, that you've been there just hanging out, crying out for 4,000 years, God, because the Catholics twisted this same thing and referred to it as purgatory. And they would literally charge people money. This is the corruption of the Catholic Church back in the day. They would charge people money to get their loved ones out of purgatory, to bring about the justice for their blood. But you have to understand that this place, God is the God of justice. So what they're referring to is justice. When is justice going to take place? And God is the God of justice. But what we see is we just see like a blink of the eye. So when we die and we wake up to Judgment Day, We wake up the same time everybody else wakes up. It's a wake up. We've been asleep, just like 1 Corinthians refers to us as we're asleep, just like Jesus referred to us as asleep, just like Hebrews refers to us as asleep, just like Revelation refers to us as asleep. It's a sleeping. So it's kind of like, those moments of night when you shut off the light and shut your eyes and immediately wake up and it's the morning. It's a lot like that. I don't want to insinuate this deep, dark hole that is purgatory, and that's not what that is. But we have to understand that our souls have to go somewhere. They're not here anymore upon death. They have to go somewhere. And that is the sea, and that is death and Hades, and that is Abraham's bosom. And that's what we're looking at there. So let's take another look at that. Verse 1, and thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain of hard rock. And we'll get into these mountains. That's why I don't want to just say, well, here's what it is, because we're going to be talking about this mountain for about 5 episodes. I just want to kind of introduce it in this episode and give you the general idea of what this place is. And thence I went to another place, and he showed me in the west another great and high mountain of hard rock. There was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, and deep and dark to look at. And Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein, yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. Now, this is all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. Raphael is one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. So we have to understand what this place is. We read about this place in the Bible, but here we're getting a different glimpse of it, so to say. Then Raphael answered, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, these hollow places have been created for this very purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble therein, yea, that all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment, and till their appointed period, till the period appointed, till the great judgment comes upon them. And that's where they are, and that's where they will remain until that day of judgment. So there you go. Any thoughts or insight on any of this? Definitely put it below. And continue to join us through the Book of Enoch.